Gyros landing a 4-man Sulfurious Smash, Durance of Hate from Mephisto, and this combination executed perfectly at the end of the game.
From Alarak, make it a quad kill set up by that ETC.
Wow, did you see that mosh pit? 4-man mosh pit while on a conveyor belt. That was like a regular sushi line.
Nubarak, core at 50%. Both cores are just absolutely melting. Which one's going to go down first? I think this is going to be Respect the Gooses. Oh my goodness.
Ring. Oh my goodness, the ring. Jaina just pulling up everybody here. That's a 4, make it 5
And it
for
does
nothing.
knock them all up. What a play. Oh my God, somebody please clip that.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. Tonight, be a matchup between Division E. I guess there's no East. Division E powerhouses, Illidancing Queens, and the Core Bouncers. And when I say powerhouses, let's actually take a look at these standings and see where we are right now. We've got a three-way tie at the top of Division E. Illidancing Queens, FC Hong Kong, and FF and the Pancakes are all sitting there with 14, but right behind them, the Core Bouncers. So we've got essentially a number one and a number two level team here playing against each other tonight. So expect this to be an exciting matchup between these teams. Is anybody there? Can you give us a hello? Hello, are you there? Checking in on the maps. We did get these here a few moments ago. We've got the map bans coming out from Illidancing Queens. They're going to be banning out Towers of Doom and Dragonshire. They're our left team, our blue team tonight. Meanwhile, the Core Bouncers, and I gotta say, I do really like that. I like both of the team icons, but I really like the Core Bouncers one. That's a unique one. But they banned out the Cursed Hollow and Braxis Holdown. Our first map tonight gonna be Hanamura Temple. My first opportunity to cast a Hanamura game this season. In fact, ever, actually, now that I think about that, because Hanamura is just not one that was played all that much in the off-season events or even so far this season. But we do have our teams are all here, so we're just waiting on them to be ready, and we'll get started here in a few moments. But Division E, this is the bottom division. So these are players that can range anywhere from probably like, you know, bronze to gold for the most part. And every division kind of has its own unique meta, has their own unique way of playing the game. And so I'm really excited to see how Hanamura is adapted in Division E. What kind of heroes are we going to see? And there are the opportunities to get some of those newer hero changes, right? Like Diva and Gazlo, both really strong heroes in general. Are they good enough to fit into a team comp here? We'll see. This is a 2-lane map, so you're typically going to see a strong 4-man with a solo lane. Fairly small distance as well. So that solo laner can come in pretty quickly if they want to get a quick 5-man team fight. Start some challenges there for them. We may see some of that. So there's going to be a lot of priority on these samurai camps, and which are in many cases, as they say, the true objective here. And they have a short timer. It's like 2 minutes or something. Like it's incredibly short. And you're going to see high priority on heroes that allow quick burn on those. Raynor, Greymane, Artanis are all, you know, pretty commonly picked because they can burn through them and solo them, really, even fairly early in the game. Looks like we may have both of our teams ready. Good to see everybody. All my friends are here. All my friends, so many of you. But here we go, Hanamura Temple. It's draft time. Illidancing Queens with first pick. They actually won the flip, I believe, and chose first pick, giving core bouncers the selection of the map. Wind Up Bird wants a Nazebo. I mean, sure, why not? I don't think we'll see it here. But you know, another hero that kind of fits in that same style in a way of Nazebo that in a lot of ways can get significant value here is the Azmodan. We may see an Azmodan here. He's able to quickly burn down keeps if he takes level 10 those siege grunts. I mean, it could happen. Garrosh can be the first one to be banned. Now, just as an important note, Garrosh is into the fray. The interaction, if you didn't know, he can throw your samurai. Not the one on your half of the map, but any samurai that you take, he can throw that. So that interaction is banned. You can still take into the fray, just don't throw your samurai around and you don't have to worry about any problems. But that's not happening here tonight. Instead, Garrosh banned, Orphea also banned. And this is a really strong mage hero. She's very maneuverable and does a pretty significant amount of damage. The later this game goes, those combos set up with like an ETC, maybe even something a little bit more simple. You could see a combo of like a Gravo Bomb with, you know, a Johanna and her Eternal Feast on top of it. Just pull everybody right back into it. Li Ming also going to be banned out. And Li Ming, you know, a single target missiles can really burn through the samurais pretty quickly as well. Arcane orbs do a lot of damage, and many times you see these fights on this map. You may see them over the cart you're trying to push. You may see them over the samurai camps, but basically around areas where teams tend to be clustered together. All right, our first pick is going to be ETC. Now, keep in mind that ETC was nerfed just slightly. His trait dropped from 25% down to 20% armor. But it does make him a little bit squishier. In his level 13, his Encore talent that reduces the cooldown on his ultimate also being reduced from 6% to 5%. So it takes a little bit more time now, a few more hits to quite get that cooldown back. But it's going to be Anduin and Tassadar. So Anduin with that leap of faith could pull somebody out of the mosh pit, or could just say stay in there and accept this gift of a light bomb. Could see that. Could we see old school Juice Pirates on Hanamura? Seems like a very small map for such a thing, but it could happen. Sure, why not? Here comes Raynor and Stukov. So Juice Pirates probably not on the table. But the Raynor's going to provide a lot of control over the samurai camps. Going to give them that opportunity to burn them down quickly. With Stukov, and again, kind of go into that combo that I mentioned in the middle of the ban phase. I don't know if I mentioned Cassio's ban. I think I did. But being able to get that ETC slide along with the silence to make sure that when the stun is over, when that mosh pit is over, that you can't get out of it, right? You can't use your abilities to try to save yourself. You can't use that gladiator medallion if you're silenced. However, Zool going to be banned out here, and Zool I think gets banned out here similarly to things like Vikings and Abathur. You know, he's a pretty decently strong hero to begin with, but he allows your team to push really, really hard while the rest of the teams are off doing samurais or doing objective. Johanna, the final ban here, as there's no tank available for the core bouncers. They're actually going to save their tank until their last pick. They're going to pick up that Sylvanas and Leoric. And kind of in that same vein as the Zool, Sylvanas is going to allow them to push with their samurai really well. So it's going to be up to Illidancing Queens to make sure that anytime core bouncers get any kind of pressure from that samurai, that they have to answer it. All right, and coming in with Imperius and Chromie, and this is a combo that I've seen a few times, and especially coupled with the ETC, this is a danger combo. You've got the slow potential from Chromie to help Rainer. You've got Imperius who can land a stun right onto whatever time trap or temporal loop target, or even a slowing sands. Like, Chromie really sets up the Imperius. I fully expect to see some percent damage out of that Imperius at level 1 with Burn the Impure. May coming in the last hero for our draft here, and that's a little bit concerning. Like, May is a really strong hero, but there's a lot of ways for Illidancing Queens to take advantage of somebody who wants to sit still for a couple seconds. But let's get our poll posted here. Game number 31. Okay. Oh man, chat is on fire. I'm gonna have to catch up to what you guys are talking about there. All right, who do you think's gonna win game number 1? Is it gonna be Illidancing Queens on the left, or is it gonna be the core bouncers on the right? Hit your drop down, select which team you think will win or that you want to win. Hit the vote button. Vote like democracy depends on it, because these teams don't know who's gonna win unless you vote. That's how it works. All right, getting ready to load up the game. Let's get to it, shall we? All right. Starting with the right side here, we got the core bouncers. It's going to be Captain Janj. I'm going with that anyways. On Sylvanas there. Captain Garbo on the Anduin. We got Dan Solo playing the Leoric. We got Nemesis on the Tassadar, and Credit Clown going to be on that Mate. And for the left, Illidancing Queens over here going to be played Stukov by Born to Shine. We got Dax on the Rainer. Seztrin there going to be on the Chromie. Jakebot on ETC. And up in the top lane, we got Yotaru on Imperius. All right. Down in the bot lane, we do have our 4-man. Now, the one thing we do see here, neither of these solo lanes are really any good at doing damage onto the camp. So the camp clear, I feel like Sylvanas, Tassadar versus Rainer, Chromie. It depends if Rainer took Exterminator, which he did. So I think that goes over to Illidancing Queens. But right now, Sylvanas having to use that Haunting Wave to get away from the ETC. Dax, however, getting really low on the Rainer, doesn't have the Adrenaline Rush. He used that earlier. And Tassadar with the long-range Shock Ray. Gonna get a bunch of stacks there for Chromie. But the first blood going over. Nemesis getting that kill. And Illidancing Queens, a lot of fam in the house for the Illidancing Queens. 80% of the vote coming in for IQ. We'll have to see if chat is able to get this one right tonight. Recyclic, so did Nova. How did Nova get through this draft? Seems suspect to me. Nemesis coming in with that force wall, preventing Jakebot from sliding in and making use of that face melt to knock the team away and maybe even steal away a little bit of that XP. As we see here, Rainer and Stukov now heading up. They're going to go to that fortification camp first. But with Sylvanas on the other team, I was going to say they may actually look to push this a little bit, but they are also going to head to their fortification camp here. I assume, yeah, I was gonna say, I assume they're going for the XP. So keep in mind, these camps give vision. That's what the dotted line is for. And so the blue team able to see up here in the top lane, the red able to see down in bottom. But they have to, at this point, both know that they're on their camps here. Now, Rainer not being here is going to make this slower. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a rotation in from the core bouncers just going straight in. But it's just not enough time. Stukov does have a lot of damage coming out of that pimp arm he's got. And SYLVANAS and Anduin coming in, gonna steal this away. But SYLVANAS, again, giving some stacks over to the Chromie there. 13 already on that deep breathing. And keep in mind, once she gets that completed, she gets a cooldown reduction, a mana cost reduction. You're just gonna see those circles dropping on the heads of the core bouncers for the rest of the game. First Samurai completed. Now Imperius is coming down. It looks like they're just gonna stop by, pick up the vision, but they can't wait too long because, again, SYLVANAS. They cannot leave the SYLVANAS team to essentially just push for free. But instead, they're working on getting the part moved forward here. Long time. We got a minute and a half on the Samurai camps there. Oh, Imperius is probably going to get stunned, right? Ah, just barely gets out of that. But Chromie, again, now with Mobius Loop, gets that slow on those bombs here. Big power slide out onto Mei, but she's going to be able to get away. Did, I think, try to icing through that silence, but got interrupted. And both of the teams just kind of throwing their poke out. Keep in mind, Merc Queen forced the SYLVANAS. Leo going to get caught by the Imperius, but pulled away by Anduin there with that Leap of Faith. And did we get the percentage? We did not. We actually got the cooldown reduction, so Impaling Light, allowing Imperius to get that extra Q, that extra stun more often there when he completes that. ETC's going deep into the backline, trying to knock back the Mei. She is going to drop her Blizzard, and there's her Cryo Freeze to keep her unstoppable and healthy. Keep in mind, too, level 4 right here, Crystallize. She's going to get 40 spell armor every time she pops into that. It also reduces the cooldown, so she can do it more often. Leo, however, getting very low here, is looking for that Spectral Hand. Does get that out onto the Imperius, and Imperius falling very low, gets the blind from the Mei. But no deaths here. Pretty much a 3-minute, 2-minute, something like that, consistent fight. But no deaths. And, I mean, that speaks a lot. That was a lot of damage. That speaks a lot to the value of the healers that we have here. Both Anduin with his Divine Star able to heal up his team in an AoE capacity, but so can Stukov pretty effectively. So these healers putting out some work. But now, I guess not the channel, the push going back over to the core bouncers. And this is like right now, what would be ideal is if core bouncers basically just said, you know what, we don't even need to worry about this. This is really far. We can go get our Samurai. Because the 7 shots out of this won't barely do anything to that wall. Crushinator, and I think there was somebody else. Welcome, everybody. I think Ektar raided in earlier, so thanks for coming by, everybody. We're in the middle of game number 1 between Illidancing Queens and the core bouncers. So far, a lot of action, but no real completion here. JakeBot trying to make sure he's safe here. Does have the silence coming out. Mei is going to pop that Cryo Freeze once again as JakeBot trying to get away. The blind coming out onto Raynor, and Mei getting that great icing. Gonna knock Raynor away from the safety of his wall. And Leo coming in with that kill. So the second kill of the game. 6 minutes into this game, we have 2 kills, and the objective cleared is gonna basically do what I said. It's just gonna do it up top lane. That said, with Raynor down, the core bouncers now looking to get in here and invade. Chromie drops a time trap, but I don't actually see it. I don't know where it went. So a quick invasion there from the core bouncers, and unfortunate. I mean, in some ways, if Chromie and Stukov hadn't already gotten that down to half health, they might have had enough time for Raynor to rotate in and mount a defense there. But they made the right call, pulling off of it, and ultimately not losing any heroes there. Level 10's coming up soon. Keeping in mind, Chromie, of course, already has her. She's got that slowing sands. Hydrate my dude. I didn't even realize that was a thing. I will get to that. I thought it was Nectar. All right, Samurai coming in the top lane here. We got Chromie, we got Raynor, and we got Stukov looking to defend this, but they have a SYLVANAS and level 10s. There's the Entomb going out onto the Stukov. Big stun onto the Leoric, but he's able to make it out of there. Chromie not so lucky with that black hole coming in. May as well. Gonna be able to finish that kill. So level 10's coming up very soon here for Illidancing Queens, but they are without their Chromie, and that is of extreme importance to them in the defense of this. Nah, it's just the first one, Rec. Just the first one. Yeah, I got my water right here, Falcomer. I appreciate it. All right, level 10 achieved here. So we do have pretty standard, I would say. Yeah, everything's pretty well standard. We did see some buffs to Tacidar's black hole. So the reduced mana cost, reduced cooldown, giving him a little bit more value in that black hole and kind of pulling the heroes in together, stunning them at the center. And we did see a little bit of value there, especially when you've got an Entomb and you know exactly where the heroes are going to be. Black hole doesn't move very quickly, but if you know that the heroes are locked down for 3 or 4 seconds, that makes that a lot easier. It's also a really slow way to stop a mosh, but if you're watching the timer, it's okay. You can certainly make use of that. Imperius up here in the top, just kind of keeping an eye on this rotation coming from the core bouncers. Might even be instead looking to make sure that they don't come through here and go to the samurai. And that's what we're going to see Illidancing Queens do. But here come the core bouncers, so let's see how this turns out here. There goes the black hole. Flailing Swipe coming back is going to actually get Born to Shine caught there. Big mosh pit. Chromie doing a lot of work. Light Bomb coming out. SYLVANAS, single-digit health, does make it out. As Stukov, though, getting taken out. Dan Solo picking up the camp as the Anduin and now Tacit are dropping. But they do get the counter kill out onto Chromie. And with the double turret camp here, our frontliners from Illidancing Queens trying to just make it out. Dax doesn't have a lot of health himself. As, well, basically the frontliners. Really, it's a frontliners game at this point, right? Everybody up in the front line. May and Leoric have pretty decent self-healing. Imperius and ETC have pretty decent self-healing as well. So, you know, being able to find themselves alive longer in that fight. But we've still got Raynor here. So this cart is not going to get delivered, at least not yet. Core bouncers, they're going to get started on their own samurai. And pretty much Illidancing Queens doesn't have a lot to be able to get in and do anything about that. Level 13s are here for the core bouncers, so they're going to get in and push this as quickly as they can because Illidancing, they're very close themselves. ETC, you see there, looking in the back, doesn't have the mosh pit, but is looking for that power slide. Going to get this stun out onto Anduin. The knockback, Light Bomb's coming out, is going to get the stun. Leoric already dead. Can they find this May? The Leap of Faith coming out. And the Angelic Armaments, oh, there's a big Celestial charge, but the Chastise is going to come in and keep him locked down. But ETC, again, with that power slide, does get the knockback onto May, and May's in the silence, so she can't do anything, but oh my goodness, look at that. 4-man avalanche for the disengage there, keeping the team alive. Credit Clown lining that up, nearly getting the ETC in there. Getting a full 5-man avalanche would have been just absolutely impressive. 4-man, getting a 4-man avalanche is pretty impressive. Because keep in mind, every additional player you get into that avalanche adds a half a second to the stun. So that's 2 seconds of stun time they had to sit there and think about what they did wrong. Time trap here. Let's take a look. What do we have on this? It's time trouble. So armor reduction. Big mosh pit in the back, however. Triple. And the black hole's going to hit onto 3 as well. The force wall coming in. Oh, but the celestial charge catching Anduin. Dan Solo going to have to wraith walk away. But you see Jakebot, he's looking. He does power slide in. Can't quite get the connect onto Leoric. But Angelic Armament's coming down, just barely missing the celestial charge. But it doesn't matter. Leoric's going to go down. And Illidancing Queens coming in with a 2-0 on this one. 6 kills to 5. And they're going to keep pushing this payload. We see Raynor now presumably coming back to pick up this camp? No? Is he going to tap? Is that what we're doing? All right, he did want to go to the camp. He just took a little bit of a different route. You know, sometimes you just gotta stop off at the convenience store when you're making a long trip. But I mentioned it earlier, you gotta be mindful of the Sylvanas. And here she comes, pressuring down this bottom fort, getting the stun out onto the minion wave as well. Yutaru coming down here, this is not an easy win for the Imperius. So really all he can kind of hope to do is keep Sylvanas from pushing too much. Now, the Samurai is going to really make this easier, but there's that Merc Queen value turret. But this is a 5-on-4 now. Sylvanas in the bot lane. But really, not a lot of pressure coming in. All right, Samurai Camp is going to be left alone. It's already fairly low. The tower up from the top half of this, choosing that over the minions. And it does get the one tower in the bot lane here. Both teams looking at 16 coming up very soon. But again, Samurai coming up for the core bouncers in the top lane. Red team has the vision here, so Illidancing Queen's kind of playing into the core bouncers' home turf in a way. And we'll see. There it goes. It's still pushing. And now 16 here for the core bouncers. So Illidancing Queen's looking to see if they can't get 16 before this gets all the way into the payload delivery. And there it is. Level 16s. Pop those up for you. Blizzard coming down, May trying to get that stun out onto ETC, but the Flailing Swipe's going to come out, the turret being dropped. Keep in mind that's a 60% increase in damage now because of the Sylvanas. Black Hole going to come out and miss. Yutaru in the backline gets a single stun, and ETC did get that knockback. I think he may have gotten interrupted when he was trying to mosh, but he's going to get taken out, isolated from the rest of the team by that force. A triple stun, looking for another stun coming up. Can they get the Sylvanas? They do. Anduin may be the next target. They're getting a ton of damage, however, onto the Mei. Just missing that Celestial Charge is Yutaru, so he's going to have to basically just accept the 1-for-1 here. And that's it. It was Ektar, yeah. So Ektar and Crushnator, thank you both for the raids earlier. Much appreciated. Again, this is game number 1, and these are some of the top teams out of Division E. Illidancing Queens tied for first place with 2 other teams, and the core bouncers, they're only 1 point behind. So there's 4 teams within 1 point at the top of Division E, and this is 2 of them right here. All right. Vision camps do provide an XP buff there for the team that picks them up. And keep in mind, too, if one team kills all the minions, like if it's blue and then red comes in and kills all the blue minions and then blue steals, like they can take the channel away. I don't think most people really think of that level of 4D chess, but here comes the Mei, possibly looking for an avalanche. Couldn't quite find it. As ETC with the Encore, they're going to give up the camp once again. You know, I got to say, the core bouncers have been doing a really good job with this. Coming in, big Celestial Charge, and Chromie with that Mobius Loop. Leo getting pulled off, the Force Wall coming in as well to separate out, but Credit Clown in a little bit of a dangerous place. There's that Avalanche, and here comes the Cryo Freeze Power Slide coming in as well. Stukov going to try to get the silence, but just a moment too late, and Leora coming in with that Entomb. Basically just to help disengage, as Raynor going back to tap. He'll be back in just a moment. And there's ETC getting back with the Encore, trying to get that CDR out onto his mosh pit. And Angelic Armament's coming in. Not really any good targets to send that out to, so Yutaru's not even going to bother using that. Just using it for defensive purposes here. So, again, this is quite a battle royale between 2 pretty evenly matched teams. 7 kills to 6. Taking a look at our XP here. You know, the minions definitely in favor of Illidancing Queens. They've been on top of those minions. The passive XP on this map, a lot more in favor of the core bounces because of the fact that they've had that 1 port down for so long, and soon it's going to be 2 here. They've been able to actually stay ahead because of that passive XP. But right now, the only thing up now, that Sentinel camp available for the core bouncers. And they could just pull back and do it. I mean, this This is pushed far enough up. Yeah, that's exactly what they're going to do. This is pushed far enough up that they can burn this down quickly enough and then go back to the payload. They don't have to stand on that payload. They don't even have to worry about it getting pushed all the way into their position. They're going to be able to send that out. Now, this is probably still okay for the Illidancing Queens because they do have a little bit of time to take a fight here if they want to, but they're gonna have to pull back and deal with that samurai before too long. But it's not gonna matter if icing comes in, the big flailing swipe disrupting the team. ETC coming in with the mosh, but it's gonna get immediately interrupted. Short cooldown there for the mosh, and it's already back up here. Light bomb coming out, Leoric being the call here as ETC's trying to find something. The silence coming out, and May's gonna fall, but the double kill from Sylvanas onto both of the front line of Illidancing Queens, and Sylvanas has not done a triple kill. Looking now for a quad. Can she get the kill onto Born to Shine? But she just doesn't have the mana. Cap and Janj gonna be able to secure them quite a bit, trading the May for 3 heroes on the side of Illidancing Queens, and once again immediately rotating down to get the Samurai Camp. And with the Samurai Camp, I mean, this keep is done. Absolutely, there's no chance. The only question now is, depending on how quickly they take this down, can they go to core? 10 seconds left on the front line, but level 20s are coming up very soon here for the core bouncers. Might even get it off of this minion wave, actually. There it is. And they're, where are they going? They're coming for a turn camp? I guess. All right. They weren't confident enough in their level 20s and having the samurai to push with, and that's fair. I mean, everybody from Illidancing Queens came up, so they're just gonna grab a quick turret. They're gonna get a second turret right here. So again, with the Merc Queen, that's 60% additional damage. All right, I had some water just for you, Valkymer. Took that moment. Hope you feel better. All right, looking for a fight here. The core bouncers have level 20. They know the Illidancing Queens only a half a level away from their own level 20 towns. Although Chromie already has hers, of course. ETC is in the backline, taking a little bit of damage from the Sylvanas, but the Leoric Tomb is going to catch the Rainer. He is deleted. Born to Shine going to get caught by the black hole. And a triple kill. Now a Chastise. Can they get that light bomb in? It doesn't look like it. So the Imperious going to be able to make it out. ETC is going to get a big stun, however. Leoric going to fall, and now may be in danger, but they actually get the kill first out onto that Imperious, and Chromie timing out. I think she's, yeah, I was going to say, I think she's done. So it's just ETC, and he's got nothing. His maybe best case scenario is to get like an epic death mosh here and have the core somehow finish the team. But there's a turret here, there's a catapult here. I don't think ETC's got much in the tank, as the core already now at 60%, and it's falling slowly, but it's getting there. And that's going to be game number 1, going over to the core bouncers. All right, gotta look back. There's been some redemptions. Oh my goodness, here comes Moist Weenus with the bits, cheering 69 bits. And what else? We had some other things. Oh, all of the 69 bits coming in. Crushinator, Moist Weenus, my good friend. I'm so glad to see you here. Final kill count 9 to 13 in favor here of the core bouncers. Chat. 80-20. Your split was wrong on this one. But you could definitely see this is a map that is very much focused on that samurai camp, and the core bouncers were on top of it on both ends of that map as well. They got their own, and they went in and took them away from Illidancing Queens, and it was a really difficult time for Illidancing Queens to be able to pick those up. And it's, who do you leave on the point, right? ETC's probably your best option, but if ETC's on that point, he's not zoning for the rest of the team. So it's a very difficult setup there to try to defend against, especially when you've got May, who can, you know, zip in and unstoppable. Leoric who can drain you. A lot of point click damage too with the Sylvanas and then Tassadar throwing Q. So very difficult. How about a poll about what Dax should cosplay as? Okay, I could do that. What are we doing for a role play as? That would be fine as well. What are our options there, Weenus? I'm being invited to. There we go. Map pick and took shrine. All right, so it's going to be. Oh, gotta give the point away. Infernal Shrines is going to be our second game here. Gonna be the pick of Illidancing Queen. Proud to be the 20%. There you go. Ice. You know what? There you go. Dax on the white main cosplay. Okay, so that's one of our options. What's our other option? Do we have another option? And good evening, Kat. Good to see you. I'm so glad that you're here watching this Division E matchup. The Redemption says suggest a poll. You have to make the magic happen. All right. Okay. So we got a white main. Let's see here. Manage the poll. So what should Dax cosplay as? I suppose just say who. We've got white main as one. I mean, we got to throw in the ever awesome Murky. Let's see here. Let me pull up my roster and see who's out there. Oh, you know who would be another one? How about a Nazebo? How about that wind up? Let's see. I'm not sure how we would do it, but maybe a Probius could be in there. You know, we're just gonna pick all of these random old specialist heroes, and then you know what? Let's round it out with a little Diva. Diva's powerhouse. So we'll give this a 2-minute poll. It is up. So enjoy, and let's see what you guys come up with. So what should Dax cosplay? I don't know when Dax cosplays. I don't know if he's ever done it, so we'll see. Mario, Princess Peach, Yoshi, and Wario. I mean, fair enough. Oh my goodness. Let's see. I could have certainly put in Stitches and ETC. Sorry guys, the delay you know, causes that to slow down a little bit. Need to post your picture when you were Murky. Oh, you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. I've got to find that picture. It absolutely is amazing. One of these days I'll post that somewhere for people to look at. But yes, BlizzCon 5 or 6 years ago had a Murky cosplay, or not cosplay, it was just a face painting, but it was, you know, here to here, and it looked, I mean, pretty freaking scary, if I may say so. It was the, you know, 9 o'clock at night. I remember passing some Kiwis, basically, who, you know, were visiting Disneyland, and I was walking past them, scared the bejesus out of the dad of the group, and ended up talking to him. It's a great conversation starter. There you go. I probably could cosplay Wario. That is indeed a good option. Blackmail file. Oh my goodness. Not the next year the Podling was not nearly as good. Cosplay as Bahamut. Bahamut is in much better shape than I am and has a way better set of hair. Do we have our vote yet? It's almost done. I didn't cosplay. No, I just had face painting though. All right, we almost have 10 people, and the votes are in. It's white main. All right, so Dex, when you come back and watch this, I mean, the votes are in. You got to do it. So I look forward to the pictures. Can't wait to see that. Thanks again, Mr. Weenus, for the 69 bits. Always a pleasure. No, Rec, I was the mom of our group. Oh no, last year? I feel like I was both parents last year. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at these maps again here. So, game number 1 on Hanamura Temple there, that was the selection of the core bouncers, and they won that. Game number 2 here, the selection of Illidancing Queens. We'll have to see how this turns out. Who's going to win this one? But our map bans, Brax's Holdout, gone. Cursed Hollow, gone. Those were bounced by the core bouncers. And Dragonshire and Towers of Doom, pretty much 2 of my favorite maps, danced out by the Illidancing Queens. No options here for the best maps. We just get the ones that everybody likes. What the heck? And we've been talking a little bit about the standings here. Well, let me show these to you. Again, Illidancing Queens, 14 points. The core bouncers, with that win, now have 14 points. So they are technically tied with 3 other teams for that first place. These are top tier teams in Division E. So again, this next game is up for grabs. That last game was pretty even overall. So it's just going to be up to who can do their macro just a little bit better. Maybe the team fights a little bit better. You know, whatever, right? I mean, whatever works for these teams. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I do remember that, Rick. And listen, Wind Up, you were certainly welcome to join us. I'm sorry that you didn't accept our global invitation, but it was out there. We were announcing it. We had a lot of fun, some good times with some NGS peeps. We had 25 people at Fire and Ice. Good stuff. Yeah. And we are coming up here. We've got one team ready. We got another team ready, I think. Yes, there we go. Hey. D-Nasty, don't give me that crap. All right, Valk, I'm coming back. This is round 2. Water's finished. Hey, you want to join me? Come here. Come on. Oh, I see. The Guardians. 1 second. All right, never mind. She doesn't care. She has Alice under the table, preventing her, or from under the desk, preventing her from coming and joining us here. But maybe at some point she'll join us. And our first ban going to be Orphea. That's continuing the tradition from game number 1 there. And I think that's a very solid ban, especially here. This is a map that she can do a lot of work on. We're going to see that ban on Tassadar. And you know what? How did I have Dan Solo as Abathur? Playing Abathur. Playing Leoric. Okay. Anyways, ban on Tassadar, not a big surprise. Already a strong hero on this map, and after last game, I mean, the force walls and these choke points can be devastating. So getting rid of that Tassadar is pretty important, I think. Yeah, just different tiers, right? They're the top of the tier. And there goes the Johanna. So continuing on that tradition as well from game number 1. So with first pick being on the other side, I mean, they could still look to take some of these heroes. They could look to take a Sylvanas. I mean, Sylvanas is really strong. And she... There you go. There are some things I feel like I'm good at, and recognizing some of the heroes that are of important value, you know, it works. All right, so we could still see an ETC. I don't think they go into the ETC though. Maybe they, if they have it in the wheelhouse, maybe they look at like a Diablo here. All right, what are we going to get next? So we've got Sylvanas. We're going to get probably our tank. They could go into May. I don't think it's going to be Leoric. Maybe we see a Blaze, but I don't think it's going to be Blaze either. We could see a Steal Away of the Imperius. And maybe even a Tychus. All right, so they're gonna come back to that. So they're gonna get Li Ming and Anduin here. And there goes the mate. Yeah, they don't want to give that opportunity. That, all right. We're gonna come back to what we're gonna go next here. Let me make sure these are on the right people. Yeah, back to Anduin. Okay. Tabasco. All right. So we got Diablo and Kael'thas. So Kael'thas, I think, gets a lot of value on this map. You can put the Living Bomb on the skeletal defenders, spread that to the enemy team, and that's really rough. And Maiev is a really, I think that's a really good ban for what they've got here. I guess could still be a pick, honestly, for either side. And it would be a good deny here. Stukov could still be a good pick. Could we see a Brightwing? Show me the Brightwing, Born. Do it. Do it! All right. I give up. I fail. I don't know. She's going to come back later. She's going to be like, oh, you know what? That Brightwing? I probably should have done that Brightwing. I'm telling you. She's going to be like, Brightwing right here. But Deckard is a very strong healer, so again, I mean, not a big surprise there. Couples well with the Kael'thas. You get those Heraldric cubes, get the roots out there, and there you go. Garrosh. So, oh yeah, Garrosh is the tank I was thinking. I just didn't get around to saying it earlier. But they do go back into the Leoric, so okay, fair enough. Leoric does have that life drain hand, and it is % damage, so yeah. Watching chat catch up to my Brightwing comment is great. I love it. This could definitely be a Tychus. It could also be a Rainer. Oh no, is this a solo raid? Okay. This is interesting. So I don't know if they're gonna put Zool in the 4-man or if they're gonna have him double soak. Not sure. And that looks all correct. So let's get our poll up. I got to get this new poll up. New poll, game number 2. Who wins game number 2? And sing wins. There we go. All right. 2 minutes. Vote the team you think is going to win in this. Is it going to be the Core Bouncers? They just won game number 1. Or is it going to be Illidancing Queens? Looking to stay on the top of Division E standings. It's up to you to decide, chat. There's no Yotaro. Fair enough. All right, well, here we go. Game number 2 on Infernal Shrines between Illidancing Queens and the Core Bouncers. We got Illidancing Queens on the left. It's going to be Born to Shine on the Deckard Cain. Dax going to be on that Kael'thas, Yotaru on the Zool, Jakebot on Diablo, and Sezdrin going to be on the Diva. And on our right side here, Dan Solo going to be playing the Leoric. Once again, Captain Janj on the Sylvanas, Nemesis on the Li Ming, Credit Clown you on that Garrosh, and Captain Garbo on the Anduin. Do I actually have those all set up correct? I do, right? Nope. Try that again. Do those pop-ups again. All right, so Zool already up in the top lane. Is going to be looking to double soak. Diva has... That's not Promoves? It is Promoves, okay. And so keep in mind, Diva is a little bit of a different hero. Diablo is going to get that flip onto Leoric. He's going to Wraith Walk away. So I'm interested to see what kind of build we get out of the Diva. Is it going to be something like a Defense Matrix build? Is she going to go into that Life Drain plus... additional damage to minion mercs and monsters, which I kind of assume that's the direction she's going, especially since that's % damage into the Garrosh and the Leoric. It'll be interesting to see. We do have the field study here for Deckard, so that extra spell power. Renew, getting a little bit of a buff, basically, for Anduin. So not a big surprise there. And of course, Li Ming going into power hungry. Wants that extra spell power, wants the extra mana regeneration as our teams are trying to rotate in, gather the XP, but also now picking up their siege camps in the mid lane. And they'll be facing off here pretty much about the same time. This time, Core Bouncers coming in with 60% of the votes. So there you go. Chat was wrong last game. Let's see if they're right this game. The Yorick versus the Zool here, and in general, if you're looking at double soakers, they both have the potential to clear a lane roughly about the same amount of time, especially once level 4 hits. However, Zool gets the extra minions, so that means that he can create more pressure. And I don't think that, oh my goodness, Born to Shine getting just absolutely brought super low, and Diablo up, getting thrown in. Sylvanas trying to bring him down, and it's actually Anduin gonna get at that finish here as Living Bombs spreading to the team. The first kill, first blood going over to the Core Bouncers. But anyways, Leoric, I don't think his Neil Peasants affects the skeletons because they're not minions, mercs, or monsters. So that means it takes him a little bit longer to clear those. Thankfully, he's got a huge mace that does somehow cleave damage. Maybe you know what? Maybe it's an incorporeal mace. That's probably what it is. He swings it. When he swings it, it goes through things. Just how it works. Don't question the physics. Shaman Camp's going to be worked on by both teams here, trying to get them out into the lane during the objective. And our objective here, our first Punisher of the game, is going to be a Frozen Punisher. And this is a big Punisher, ultimately for either team. But keep in mind, Sylvanas can shut down towers too. So it's maybe a little bit better for Illidancing Queens if we're talking percentages-wise, like 51-49. Because if Sylvanas doesn't have to use her trait, that's all the better, of course. Zool's going to stay up in the top to try to clear that out, but already a quarter of the way done are the Core Bouncers. And Illidancing Queens coming in, Defense Matrix being used there, and Haunting Wave going out onto the team. As Diablo flipping Credit Clown there, have to be a little bit careful of the Garrosh throws. And Living Bomb spreading a little bit into the backline, so Anduin having to pull away. 16-22, as Diablo going deep into the team is going to get thrown over the wall. And Jakebot in a lot of trouble here. We do see that mech explosion coming in, but Diablo's going to be the one to fall as Sestrin gets a few more minions out of that. And keep in mind too, here we do see one of the changes to the Diva is that Defense Matrix, she can actually retarget that now. And so we did see that switching around a little bit, but it looks like the Core Bouncers with that level 7 are gaining the advantage, 30-33. So it's still very close. It's still anybody's pickup, but there are just more bodies from the Core Bouncers. There's the Ruby out there. Can they finish this off? 37-39, and it is going to be the Core Bouncers just finishing it off right at the end there. And there comes the Frozen Punisher, both teams at level 7. And Sylvanas positioning instead to come down and get this camp. I don't know about this. Like, I would have rather seen this if they weren't going to go to the Punisher. Because this Punisher is going to get no value. It doesn't even get a tower at this point. Just the wall. So a little bit of XP. And that's going to give now Sylvanas the chance to come down and clear in the bottom lane as well. So not as much value as I think they could have gotten. They got a little bit of benefit out of it. They got the XP out of the camp. And ultimately did get the one tower. The second tower very close. So they can easily take that down at any point. But Garrosh trying to stall out the rotation from Illidancing Queens. Jakebot going to dive in there and take an orb to the face. Diva, however, in a bit of a dangerous place with the Garrosh here, is going to be able to use that thrusters to get out of that bad place. And Zool now kind of getting into his potential for a double soak here. Let's take a look at his talent. So he did go into the Jailers here and then Trigul's Essence. So he's going to create those skeletons and cause more damage anytime he roots a hero. Leoric did get caught by that Gravity Labs, but is going to be able to Wraith Walk away. And take a look here. I mean, top lane with Zul pressure was able to get as much value as the Punisher did for the core bouncers. And I think that's kind of what the goal was, right? Leoric might not be able to make it out of this one. But thanks to that tower defense mechanic, they do. Level 10's now online for the core bouncer. And I think the most important thing that we're seeing here is it's going to be Decimate coming out from Credit Clown. Does not care about that Warlord's Challenge. Doesn't want that extra taunt here. Looking for the Kael'thas. Gets the throw. Li Ming can't quite get the full combo, but the Wailing Arrow coming out. Living Bomb, or Light Bomb rather, as well. Kael'thas gonna get caught, but the big stay while coming in. Can Dax survive? Does not, but they get the counter kill onto the Leoric. And Credit Clown here is super low, but I think he makes it out because there's just not anybody fast enough to get there. And keep in mind, this was a 4v5. That was all done without Zul. And Zul coming now up into the top lane, but there are no minions on either side. Zul's like, hey, I'll show up. If there are minions, I'll kill them. We'll get some skeletons. There's nothing. So they can't even set it up to get the tower pressure. Instead, they're just going to have to pull back. And Zul's going to be able to clear out middle before it gets any significant damage here on the mid-fort. That place. There's going to be those micro missiles there. Let's, you know what? Let's take a look at that talent here just real quick. So again, this is it's a short channel, but then she shoots these missiles out that do a little bit of damage and they slow for a couple of seconds. There are a couple of charges to that. You can eventually increase the charges, reduce the cooldown. But the basic idea there is that you can put out a pretty decent amount of damage. You can really bring down the health of a squishy with just your basic attacks and a micro missile. All right, D.Va in the back is going to get that defense matrix out there. Big Wailing Arrow. Here comes the stay a while and listen. And Apocalypse coming in. They're going to get the stun onto the Leoric. Credit Clown going to get rooted here in just a moment. Does not have the Indomitable for the moment, at least. And the light leap of faith, rather, going to be able to keep him alive. Jakebot falling pretty low is going to have to walk away. Sezdrin also pretty low, is getting pretty close to that mech explosion, but it's 14 to 23 on the point. Both teams have all 5 members, but right now, oh, there you go. So now D.Va has the mech explosion, but doesn't have her mech. Diablo charging in, looking for that Garrosh, using his Bloodthirst to stay healthy. And Illidancing Queen's now on the point, but only 3 to go for the core bouncers. They're going to have to really watch out for the Li Ming bomb potential. And Jakebot looking for that onto the Leoric. Just couldn't quite get that. And now D.Va may not be able to get it. Never mind. The Wraithwalk going to work. Mech Explosion going to go off. And D.Va could be in danger here. Does get the... Oh my goodness. Diablo with the save. Because baby D.Va there gets flipped and dies if that stun doesn't come in. Leoric there in the mid lane, and keep in mind up in the top lane all the while this Shaman Camp did get this fort, so high value for Illidancing Queens. Zul in a bit of danger, does get the root out though, and Staywild gonna protect him for at least a moment. The Punisher falling now as Garrosh out of health, out of mana, but a lot of armor, getting that big 40 there. And so with the no kills, I mean, ultimately, this is in favor of Illidancing Queens. Diablo, a monster to try to kill now. He's got his full souls. That said, a little bit of damage, a little bit of extra damage. About a third of the fort's health from the minions on that rotation. And looks like we're going to see both teams having interest in this bottom siege camp. But for the moment, neither going for it. Garrosh looking for the D.Va, has the minions there to save her. But there's the root coming out. Probably does have the Indomitable. There it is. The Leap of Faith coming out as well. And that's going to keep Garrosh nice and healthy. But a few cooldowns used there. The Wailing Arrow coming out as well. That's a pretty long cooldown. 90 seconds for that AoE silence. Garrosh looking there for the moment, but saying, you know what? Probably not in my best interest. I've only got this Li Ming here, and if things don't go absolutely perfectly, we just lose this. Siege Camp going to get a little bit of value there onto the Li Ming as D.Va diving in, using now the defense matrix, trying to... Oh, there's the Gladiator Medallion with a big throw. Can Garrosh get out? Oh, definitely will with that Light Bomb, as using that Indomitable. And again, that Indomitable is the Unstoppable, so Garrosh has, in a sense, 2 cleanses, right? He can use that Indomitable. He can also use his Medallion, which is on a 5-minute cooldown. Indomitable is only about a 45-second cooldown, 40 seconds. Leoric's fine. I mean, he's just fine. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Big root coming out from Zool. Great timing on that. Can they finish the kill? Garrosh is here to get the stun, but they get the kill onto Leoric. Absolutely great timing there from the Zool. Garrosh going to get the flip onto Diablo, who is going to fall there. SYLVANAS going to finish the job as the mech explosion coming out, getting a little bit of damage out on Garrosh, but he's going to be just fine. And Diablo coming back, using those souls to come back as baby Diablo, you know? Just a little bit less health. Structure value currently in favor here of Illidancing Queens. They've gotten exactly 0 Punishers. They don't have SYLVANAS, but they've used the map to their advantage. They've had the Zool, they've had the Shaman camps, and we're going to see that again as the Shaman camp's going to be going this top lane. And keep in mind, there are catapults occasionally spawning for Illidancing Queens, but they are behind by half a level. They don't have the level 16 talent. Garrosh looking for the Zool is going to get charged into the wall, and here comes the Light Bomb with the root, along with the Gravity Lap. So a lot of ways there. Oh, man, just barely caught the Garrosh there at the tip of that stay a while. And SYLVANAS is going to get that Haunting Wave out. Leoric gets an Entomb in the back as Garrosh getting rooted. Leoric's going to go ahead and Wraith walk away just fine. Has the Drain Life there once again at 13. So cooldown reduction along with the additional damage for our good buddy Leoric there. And for the first time this game, I think Illidancing Queens setting themselves up with a lead on the objective. Already sitting at 20, halfway done. Leoric and Zool, neither of which are here. Off there soaking in the other lanes. And this may just go over. It looks like the core bouncer is going to have to concede this one, as 35 completed here. That said, the invade coming in onto Zool. Leoric going to get rooted. Zool's trying to survive, but the Light Bomb's coming out. Zool's going to get taken out. Right? There you go. And that's an unfortunate turn of events there for Illidancing Queens. It makes it a lot harder for them to push with this, as D.Va gonna get caught in the Entomb, but didn't really worry about that. Leoric doesn't have Wraithwalk, so the counter kill now. Both of their solo laners are down here on either team. Zool coming back in 20 seconds. Leoric, of course, he can come back faster. Big leap out onto the SYLVANAS. And you know what? D.Va throwing out the defense matrix. Keep in mind, she does get that slow, but also armor reduction when heroes are in for longer than, I don't know, a second or so. 1.25 seconds. Yeah, 1.25. So 15 less armor, 25% less movement speed. And then at that level 16, increasing the range, the radius of that cone effect, but also healing her anytime she takes damage. Actually, I think anytime anybody takes damage while they're in that defense matrix. And that can be really good. SYLVANAS attacks pretty quickly, also has those the damage over time effect here. Speaking of that, micro missiles going out onto SYLVANAS. We see the Garrosh throwing the Diablo over the wall. He does use his Medallion trying to get away, but the Light Bomb coming in. Big Wailing Arrow is going to get the silence onto Diablo. And D.Va in danger. She doesn't have that GG pilot mode ability. What is it? GGWP, I think. That gives her the torpedo dash away, or the concussive shot. I don't remember the names of the actual abilities, but doesn't have those abilities to be able to use as a disengage tool. Now, Born to Shine trying to disengage herself from Credit Clown there, but Kael'thas coming down to try to help out is going to have to use that Gladiator's Medallion. So we are seeing those used here to try to prevent deaths. And I mean, some of them have been successful, some of them have been less successful, but ultimately using them is better than not using them. Core bouncers sitting themselves about a half a level away from level 20. And there you go, Zool saved by the catapult. as Garrosh was looking for that throw. The next Punisher is in the bottom lane here. And already Core Bouncers has taken that fort down. So this is pretty good value for them if they can get it. But so is taking this top fort. Apocalypse coming out. That's going to be the Light Bomb along with the Warlord's Indomitable, rather. And Credit Clown, once again, falling very low, but he is going to get a huge heal there out of that Bloodthirst. And that's it. I mean, once again, we see a lot of triggers pulled, but both teams ultimately walking away and now heading off to do their Shaman camp. And maybe even a little bit early, right? I mean, neither team is going to be able to have this for the objective. But, you know, I mean, if you're Illidancing Queens, you want to take this off the map. You don't want to give the Core Bouncers that opportunity, because now with level 20s, they definitely have the advantage. And Illidancing Queens about a 3/4 of a level away. And this is the worst case scenario as far as the positioning of Punishers for Illidancing Queens. It's in the bot lane where they're already weak. They don't have their healing well, which the Core Bouncers do have. They don't have a fort. And it's a frozen Punisher. But it looks like Illidancing Queen's just going to focus on getting those level 20s. They're pretty close to getting them now. But the lanes are all pushed so far ahead that they really have to go far. And in some ways, I think they could have, because this now, they're not really going to slow this down. I think they almost could have just gone top lane. Kael'thas is going to just find himself in a bad position. And that might even be enough to just secure this. And we'll have to see just how much value Zul's still in the top lane is pushing. And I think that's what he needs to do. He's just got to get everything he possibly can out of that. Staywild is going to come out, put the Skeleton Lord there to sleep. As the Punisher coming in is going to have the leap out onto D.Va. She's going to get that mech, but again, she doesn't have the ability to get around, so she's just able to make it out. Doesn't get caught by the root, so able to instead hop back into the mech. As once again, gonna get stunned here. Does not have her unstoppable though, so, and somehow able to make it alive. Wow, holy cow! Keep in mind, Illidancing Queen's getting a lot of structure value between those camps that they sent out earlier. So even though they lost a hero, they're getting value. Diablo getting caught there is going to disappear. I think he Hellgated out. As Garrosh throwing in Yotaru, getting that Zul into the middle of the team, and ultimately getting that kill. Diablo back into the mix. And they do have these super pots all over the place, but they're just not always able to pick them up. Big stun. They do pull the Punisher across, so the keep in mind, the core's still invulnerable until that keep goes down. So this is a great play from Illidancing Queens to make sure that they keep their keep alive. Well, maybe. Guys, there's a Punisher over here. Alrighty then. So again, I mean, this is a play that ultimately, you know, nets out very similar in value for Illidancing Queens. They were behind on level 20s. They had no chance really to get the objective. But they took down a fort in mid lane. They got the walls down in mid and top in trade for basically the wall for bottom keep and most of that keep. So both teams now have a path to victory. If the next objective goes over to Illidancing Queens, this wall's already down. They can walk in, take this keep, and they're in much better position. They also have catapults in the top lane because the Core Bouncers never took down this top fort. But that's, I mean, that looks like what they're probably hoping to do here. Maybe. I mean, Credit Clown's, I was going to say, he's not in a bush. And they're going to wait just barely not long enough. Garrosh is in position here. Could get that throw. Is, I guess, going to get interrupted. But a big buried alive there onto the triple. Wailing Arrow coming in, so silence is forever. A double kill so far. The mech explosion coming out, but Deckard Cain gonna fall. And Lyric's gonna make it out. Just barely, but he is gonna make it. But it doesn't look like they're going to get that kill onto the Zool. Diablo is back, is going to secure the kill onto Sylvanas. And that is an absolutely critical kill. If they don't get that kill onto Sylvanas, this game's over. That 5v3 would have been absolutely terrible to deal with. But now they're sticking around a little bit too long. And they lose the Zool. But they get the Li Ming. Like, what's going on here? I don't understand it. Sestrin probably about to fall here, right? He's getting a lot of healing out of that level 16 talent I mentioned earlier. Does dodge the Entomb, but Jakebot now trying. I mean, I don't know. I guess they're trying to buy time for this. So we'll see how much value they've got. The siege camp. They've got a catapult, although the catapult seems to be stuck. And I was going to say, and nobody's here. But Leoric is coming back, so he's going to be able to clear that up. So, the fights that Illidancing Queens loses, they end up winning. I don't understand the level of awareness that's going on here to make these things happen. Like, they're doing the game that they need to do, right? If you're going to lose a fight, so be it, but win the war. And that's exactly what's happening, is that they keep taking structures every time they lose a fight. They basically throw their bodies at them, say, that's fine, we're willing to sacrifice our heroes for your structures. Our heroes are back, they're coming back, your structures aren't. Now both teams ultimately about equal footing here. The wall is still up on the side of Illidancing Queens, so the core bouncers have a little bit more to go, but they also have Sylvanas, so that wall means very little. And here come Illidancing Queens. They want to try to find a fight here because they don't want to deal with the Punisher as well. There's the Phoenix coming out. Illidancing Queen's going to get Kael'thas in the back in the Entomb. A big stay a while, but just not quite enough to keep Kael'thas alive. That said, Yotaru with big damage from his Poison Nova. Light Bomb going to go out, but it's not going to hit anybody here. Big Wailing Arrow coming out. Sestrin trying to slow down the damage. Is going to drop that mech explosion. And might fall once again. I cannot believe the number of times that D.Va has not been punished. Just standing there. But Dan Solo, oh my goodness, and Sylvanas Haunting Wave coming in. Diablo with the double kill. Oh, and oh my goodness, they get the Li Ming. But they didn't have any follow-up. So double kill here coming out. Diablo, like, able to set things up. And again, now the core bouncers have to come back. They've got catapult pressure on their core. They've got another catapult coming in here soon. That is game-ending level of catapult pressure. So Illidancing Queens looking like they're going to be able to pick up this this shrine in just a moment. I'd almost like to see them wait a second so that they could have their full team up here before this spawned. They do need to be cautious of basically the exact same thing that they've been doing, which is to say essentially a backdoor, right? They have to make sure that that doesn't happen. But if they can pressure this, Kael'thas and Zool not quite here yet, so they have a few moments. If they can get this pressure onto this keep and maybe onto the core, they can potentially win this game. There's the leap out onto Garrosh. Big charge coming in. I don't know. I don't think he makes it out of this one. He doesn't. Anduin dying there, but the silence coming out with that Entomb. But Leoric not going to be able to make it out. Does try to use that Wraithwalk, but couldn't quite get there. And Unstoppable used by Garrosh. The jump coming out from the Punisher is going to be enough. Sestrin getting caught by the root on D.Va. Doesn't have the mech this time, so instead just going to pump the damage into the core. Punisher at half health, but it's just Sylvanas and Li Ming trying to do what they can here. 30%, and it looks like maybe if they right-click the core, they finish this here. And it's gonna be a 3-game set. Illidancing Queens taking game number 2 on Infernal Shrines. Holy cow. And listen, if you're watching this game, what you have to recognize about what Illidancing Queens did is that they took a macro approach to this game. And the core bouncers were, they were taking fights, they were winning. They got 16 kills to 9. I mean, of those 9 kills, 2 or 3 of those were at the very end of this game. So, and yet the team that got the most kills didn't win the game. They Illidancing Queens was able to create macro pressure between their Zool and the greatly timed camps, and they were able to force those fights with the enemy team when it was advantageous to them to do so. And that's how they won the game. That's how they won the game. Hey, Benkai, thanks very much for the raid coming in. We're getting raids from all over the Nexus tonight. Welcome, everybody. We are just in the middle of our 3-game set between Illidancing Queens and the Core Bouncers. Game number 3 coming up soon. We'll find out where we're going, who's taking first pick, and you know what Dax thinks about having to cosplay as Whitemane. But we're going to do that here in just a few minutes. I'm going to show these talents here, and I'm going to take just a short moment, put up a little commercial, a little Blizzard video for you. And we'll be back in just a moment. Did I get it? Was there a sub in there? There was definitely a sub in there, but it's not on my list. So whoever subbed, thank you very much for the sub. I do appreciate it, but I don't see it on the list. But there wasn't one there earlier, so it definitely is new. So thank you. And we'll be right back.
No way! You got all of them? Best gift ever! I'm Stitches. It's time to play. Not so fast, Stitches. I am Dahaka, and I'm going to eat you. Nom 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 nom. No! Who will help me? Oh, villain! I am Valera. Stop eating that bear, or I will have to punish you. No, you won't. I'll get you, Dahaka. Never. Little did you know, this was part of my game all along. Can the heroes of the storm win? Probably!
I am beyond your comprehension, mortal. All of creation shall tremble before the burning standards of hell. Attack! Show no weakness!
Good day, my friend.
Retreat! Get out of there!
And rematerialized. Well done indeed. Now to cross you off the list.
We require these. Obtain them.
On my way! La-di-da-di-da-da!
Let us slaughter together.
You have finally returned home.
Home? You destroyed my home. Slaughtered innocents. Left peaceful realms in ruins. You broke your promise.
I will not be questioned. Return to the tower at once. Fine.
How could you?
Dead magic. I am beyond that power.
You're wrong.
everything will be lost.
Then I will fight. I will never stop fighting you. For my family. For the realm. For the Nexus.
Alrighty, everybody, welcome back. We're in the middle of a 3-game set between Illidancing Queens and the Core Bouncers, two of the top teams from Division E in the Nexus Gaming Series. We're all tied up. It's 1-1. We've seen a couple of really close and absolutely fantastic games. And you know what? I brought along a special commentator here to provide us some extra value. So, Alpha, what do you think? Where do you think we're going to go for game number 3? Well, if you didn't just hear it from the game, we're going to go to Volskaya Foundry. This is the selection of Illidancing Queens. The Core Bouncers, they wanted that first pick. And so far, map pick has been the winner of choice tonight. We'll see if that continues into game number 3. But our bans, again, from Illidancing Queens, we have the bans onto Dragonshire and Towers of Doom. From the Core Bouncers, the bans on Cursed Hollow and Braxis Holdout. Game number 1 there, Hanamura Temple, that was won by the Core Bouncers. Game number 2, Illidancing Queens picked it up on Infernal Shrines. And as I said, these teams are at the top. Core Bouncers with the first point that they got there, tying it up with FC Hong Kong and FF and the Pancakes. And that point that we just saw that Illidancing Queens got, that puts them in first place. So if the Core Bouncers is able to take a 2-1 here, that puts them in first place, tying with Illidancing Queens, but having the tiebreaker. So there you go. That's where we're at. But we've got our draft ready to go. They're already starting, and Tassadar, Orphea, the picks. And you know, I kind of thought that maybe Orphea would be banned out again. This is just one of those maps where Orphea does a lot of value. So thought I would show maybe, you know, that great clip from Blizzard introducing Orphea to the Nexus for us. Or I guess introducing us, because, you know, I mean, she grew up in the Nexus, so whatever. But we're going to see Cassia banned out once again, Tassadar, and now the Garrosh. So the tanks have been kind of the target here, at least out of the Illidancing Queens for that second ban. Hey, you know what? You're too low. You got to be a little bit higher. There you go. There you go. Say hello. We go this way? There you go. Say hello. And it's going to be May being the first pick for the Core Bouncers as we get Diablo once again. And I think that's a good pick here. Volskaya Foundry is a little bit of a harder map for Diablo to get that significant value, but it's he can do pretty well. And I think JakeBot found that Diablo is a little bit sturdier there than the ETC. SYLVANAS is going to be the other pickup here, and you know what? Can't blame him. I mean, SYLVANAS was banned out in game number 1. It was picked away from them in game number 2, and we're going to go into that Li Ming. And I mean, are we going to see the same as we saw last game? No, we're actually going to see the Rainer being picked up. So Rainer can help to clear those camps a little bit quicker, can help get that the support camp faster than normal as well, so that they can pick that up potentially early game. All right, do you want down? Here, you can sit here. You can go out of sight. You don't have to sit there the whole night. And Anduin going to be banned out. Anduin's been on the table for the Core Bouncers so far the entirety of this game. Illidancing Queens is saying, you know what? We're going to force you to play somebody else. Show us what you got. And in response, what's it going to be? We've seen the Zool banned in first game, Maya of the second game. I mean, are we going melee assassins? Is this an Alarak? Demuro? Kael'thas. You know what? Fair enough. Kael'thas, another hero that can do a lot here. We do see Dax on the SYLVANAS, but that doesn't mean that somebody else couldn't play a Kael'thas. Kael'thas is one of those that has a kind of a higher skill floor, really, right? DQ, and there you go. And Ana gonna be the pick. I was gonna say, are we gonna pick a Mephisto with that? And I mean, I kind of assume it's gonna be Endurance of Hate. I suppose it could be a Consume Souls, but I think Endurance of Hate works really well on Volskaya Foundry because people want to be in those general clumped up areas. Sit down. There you go. And it's gonna be Lucio coming in, the swap over from Anduin to Lucio and Yrel. Now Yrel, keep in mind, one of those few heroes that's not a healer that has a pseudo cleanse. In this case, it's just for roots and slows, but it's there. And our last pick gonna be the Leoric. So Leoric's switching sides now. And now I think it's even more. I think it's gonna be the Endurance of Hate, because that combos so well with the Leoric and Tomb. Then you've got a Wailing Arrow you can throw on top of that, nano boost the damage out on Mephisto, and I mean then you've also got like there's a lot of ways that just stacks on top of each other. Yeah, man. Kael'thas going to Dairy Queen. The best thing. All right, I just abbreviated the names. You guys will just have to deal with that. Vote is up in chat. Who do you think's gonna win? Who's gonna take home the set? Is it gonna be Illidancing Queens? Is it going to be the Core Bouncers? Chat has been wrong, right? I think. I don't remember what the last poll said. It was like 60%, but I can't remember who they said. All right, here we go. Game set up, ready to go. That was a quick load. That's what she said, right? Whoops, rip. On the left, it's Illidancing Queens, the home team, the blue team, looking for the reverse sweep. It's Yotaru on the Leoric. We got Born to Shine on the Ana. Jakebot playing Diablo. We got Dax on the Sylvanas and Cezdrin on Mephisto. And over here to the right for the Core Bouncers, we got Captain Garbo on the Lucio. We got Credit Cloud on the May. Cap and Janj on Raynor there. Dan Solo on Yrel. And Nemesis there on the Li Ming. And Lucio over here, the only one that's not joining in that mount synergy. Angry Clouds. They hate that they lost game number 2. They want to win game number 3. They want that first place position in Division E. Chat has been wrong both games. That's what I thought. Okay, thanks for confirming. And we do see here Leoric versus Yrel in the bot lane. This is going to be about as exciting to watch as paint drying. But we'll try to zip down there every once in a while. The rotation's going to be pretty quick here, especially with the Sylvanas side. Illidancing Queens, I think, has a little bit more value on their rotation so they can kill the minions faster. Although Lucio definitely gives the movement speed rotation value over to the Core Bouncers. And that's about the most excitement that we can expect out of this matchup. A missed Spooky Hand and a knockback from the Yrel. Illidancing Queens coming in with 100% of the votes, though. We'll have to see. Does chat get it right this time, or does chat keep the Twitch chat curse going? Utaru here in a little bit of an awkward place. Keep in mind, you know, there is something here to keep in mind here with May. She has that Blizzard, and Blizzard's a decent range, so she could potentially throw that out on Mephisto. Mephisto's got to be really careful of his timing and positioning for that shade when he's zipping around trying to throw out his lightning novas and his skull missiles. But if he pops right back into a stun, he could find himself insta-dead to a Li Ming. Could find himself insta-dead to a Li Ming shot anyways. And a little bit surprising, it's actually not the Exterminator team, which they didn't take anyways, going for this. Diablo getting the charge out onto May. cannot push her off now, so she's going to be unstoppable. And this is the full rotation. This is a 5-on-4. Leoric is not here. The first kill going out onto Mephisto, and now the core bouncer is going to steal that away. And both teams have picked up their fortification camp. So we've got Raynor here with the turret camp on the side of the core bouncers. Leoric, did they use the turret? They must have used the turret. Oh yeah, there it is. Just a lonely turret. Hanging out. Not able to do anything. Waiting for somebody to shoot. Oh, does it get to shoot? It gets to be active. Dan Solo. You know, is it Dan Solo or is it like Han Solo? Would it be Don Solo even though it's an A? It might be Don Solo. Could be. But anyways, we've got these siege camps going up in the top lane here. Both of them are going to meet in a few moments, although a little bit more of a minion wave I think will be available on the side of the core bouncer. So that might actually be in their favor. As Leoric getting pushed off by Raynor. Knocked away from the wave there, and they are going to pick up that XP. So Illidancing Queen's, I think, just very slightly ahead in the XP, but it is extremely minor. And SYLVANAS going to get caught by the icing. Probably going to... Never mind, she's just going to stand there and do damage. Turret is dropped now on the side of the core bouncers. Keep in mind that they do have that healing camp as well. Captain Garbo skating around, giving his team that extra movement speed here. And Diablo getting the charge in onto Raider, the Unstoppable coming in. And down goes the biotic emitter. Overtime not available. And that's going to be the first protector of the game going over to the side of the core bouncers. Hey, thanks Baron for the Twitch Prime. I appreciate the subscription. Nah, it's flat A. Okay. Well, fair enough. You've ruined my fantasy. With a Canadian accent. Got it. All right. Well, wall going to go down here. So pretty good value out of this protector. They're going to be able to take out this healing well as well. And still about 40% of the protector available. So they're going to get a ton of damage onto this top fort. And this is, I mean, that's more value you can normally expect. Diablo did sneak in and get the kill onto Li Ming down there. And I did see that happening, but I really wanted to see how much they got out of this. They didn't quite get that for it. It's still about 20% health. But they're down a hero. They're down that Li Ming. And the XP in favor of Illidancing Queen. So that said, it's not as easy on this map to get that strong push value like we saw out of the Infernal Shrines comp. Diablo gonna... Oh, a nice sleep dart onto the... Raynor, rather. Urel diving into the back lane. Doing what she's known for. Disrupting the enemy team. Keeping her team safe through her peel with her hammer of righteous hammer, whatever it is. I actually want to know what that is. Is it righteous? It is righteous. All right, Illidancing Queen's now picking up their fortification camp as we see the rotation coming in from the core bouncers doing the same. And we might actually see another fight here, but we might not. I mean, Illidancing Queen's is very close to level 10. They could work to get that level 10 and then head up there and pick up that support camp. I think that's likely what's going to happen. We are getting that spooky hand out onto Dan Solo. Man, now that I said Don Solo, it just doesn't want to go away. I think you just got to go with that, man. I think it works. May gonna get caught by the flip and the silence, and there's just nothing she could do. That wailing arrow was absolutely clutch from Dax to make sure that she couldn't hit her cryo freeze, couldn't get that unstoppable in that 40% heal. And right now they do pick up that support camp. May is coming back, and the level 10s now available here for the core bouncers. And they're going to rotate down. It looks like they were maybe thinking about coming in after this Leoric, but Leoric's just fine. But Raynor has that range. They've got the Urel. They got a couple minions, so they can get a little poke damage out onto this wall. And now it's just a little bit of a cat and mouse game. Volskaya, known for its longer games, and this is part of the reason why. In between, oh, there's a great Entomb out onto the Rainer. Gets the life drain as well, but the knockback onto Leoric is going to force him to Wraithwalk, but he's not quite going to make it out. Actually going to fall to the Rainer, and I think actually from the Hyperion. And with that kill now, this advantage going over to Core Bouncers, getting a little bit more damage onto that fort wall, taking it down, finishing up, and getting a little bit of damage onto that fort even. Leoric down in the bottom is already back though. Getting a kill onto Leoric, he's able to drain his way back to Resurrection pretty quickly. And level 13 is coming up for Illidancing Queens. I think this is the first game they've been ahead in getting the level 10s and ultimately overall in the talents. They are still behind a little bit in the structure game here. Losing that first protector certainly didn't help them with that. And they do have the Sylvanas. So if they're able to pick up a protector, they can use that Sylvanas to help to protect its health and put out a lot of damage by herself, of course. So both teams sitting at level 12, and it's a little ways away to get that 13. Rainer going to get caught by the Diablo, but he's pulling away. Wailing Arrow coming in. Oh, great Entomb again. Here comes the Apocalypse. However, Credit Clown going to use that Gladiator's Medallion. The Durance of Hate is out onto the Yrel using Ardent Defender, so that's a big, long cooldown. Keep in mind, Durance of Hate is a very short cooldown. It's like 45, 50 seconds. 50 seconds. Yrel used a 2-minute cooldown to counter it. So that Durance of Hate ability will be back up, and 37% all of the channel for the Core Bouncers. So they're going to head down and pick up the siege camp down here, the fortification camp, rather. It wouldn't surprise me to see them come down, clear this lane up, put a little bit more damage onto this. Yrel and Rainer coming down to pick up the turret camp instead, as Diablo going to finish clearing up here, make sure that they prevent as much damage onto their own fort as possible. And it looks like Illidancing Queen's kind of taken that same idea and recognizing that, you know, that just maybe the Core Bouncers might try to come down and get additional structure damage. 85% the mark here. Lucio trying to zip up there. Diablo's going to get the stun. I was going to say, I don't think they can prevent the overtime. At this point, they can even just pull back. Double turrets, they can wait those out. Entomb's going to go out, but it's not actually going to save anybody. Leoric's going to get the first opportunity to fall here as the bio emitter now used to keep the rest of the team healthy. So Leoric probably, I mean, 22 seconds is not much of time at all for Leoric. Rainer now back working on the siege camp. So this, I mean, this is ideally a good time for Illidancing Queens to come back in once their Leoric comes up. But they're not really in the position to do that right now, and 80%, there's that threshold. So they've got to get on that point or they're going to lose this protector once again. May fall in a little bit low, but there's the Wailing Arrow, and it's a little bit late to prevent the Unstoppable as the Avalanche once again, just like in game one, getting tons of value. And Leoric now in a bit of danger, gets knocked back by the Yrel, gets caught by that Blizzard. But Yrel getting caught by Diablo. Oh, there's that 2-minute cooldown I mentioned. Big stun coming out is not enough to save Leoric, as May, however, is going to fall. And the Durance of Hate this time locking down Yrel, and that's a triple kill coming out for Illidancing Queens. 3 for 1, and now they've got a protector to deal with. But you know what? That protector is a lot less scary when there's only 2 of you. And keep in mind, having that second player in the protector gives it additional damage, gives it the additional 10 armor. It makes it a lot harder to kill, but also allows it to kill more. And that protector is going to head down into the bot lane, but with Sylvanas here, they're going to start pressuring up in the top lane. Is it going bot lane? No, it's going mid lane. They want to finish this up. And I think, you know what? I mean, this is already dead. I think Sylvanas team, like, you take this fort. Unless you think you can get the kills coming out of this protector, and I don't think you can. Like, maybe if you get a good Entomb, like, that's your kind of your main thing. You've got Leoric who can Wraithwalk. Oh no, Jakebot gets caught, but a big root coming in from the Durance of Hate gets just about everybody. Lucio getting flipped, but could not get the Shadow Charge. And that might be the end of this fight. Never mind, the silence going out. They're still looking. They get that spooky hand out. And Diablo, the charge into May. Is there anything still going on up here? Yeah, just, you know, Rainer thing. Mephisto could get taken out, just barely able to survive thanks to Ana, as Sound Barrier used by Lucio to stay Well, to keep everybody else alive. Raynor, however, up in the top is going to head up, take down this fort, and that's ultimately, I think that's what Illidancing Queens needed to do, was just take that top fort, because now they're going to be down 2 structures. And they could have been down 1 and had a path to victory. But now they just have a wall. But they do have 16s. They continue to be ahead in the XP soak here. Now Diablo doesn't... Oh, he does have Apocalypse, actually. Endurance of Hate missed, but it'll be back up relatively soon here. May going on to the point does have the anti-healing grenade. And the Snowball gonna force out the front line, so this is very good now for the core bouncers. A big blizzard gonna hit onto Mephisto. He's probably toast, and there he goes along with Ana, but they get the counter kill onto May. The bio emitter picked up and dropped here by the side of core bouncers, and it's sustaining them through absolutely everything. And this time it's a quad kill for core bouncers, and they're immediately heading up looking to see if they could catch Leoric possibly, but that's not gonna happen. I mean, it could have happened. He's just Hearthing up here in the corner. But it's not going to happen. They're going to instead pick up the siege camp here. And Raynor heading down to the bot lane. They want to continue to push this up. They want to make sure that when this next control point comes up, that they have as much advantage as possible. Don Solo. Man, I love it. I really do. I think it's just Don Solo. I mean, I respect that it's Dan Solo. I get that, but I feel like you should call it Don Solo. Just saying. All right, bottom fort going down is already here at half health, continuing to get the poke from Li Ming, and I mean it's dead. It's not dead right this moment, but it will be.
I'm getting another terminal ready for you.
Yeah, just a little bit different on that timing, because then you don't have that snowball punching you out. Both the Leoric and the Diablo. I think if one or the other gets caught, then okay, so be it. But both of them getting caught, leaving the door open right into the Mephisto and Ana and Sylvanas was just really rough. With all my Hartley. I'm telling you, Hartley, we are in agreement on this one. And here comes that control point C, and with those kills now, core bouncers taking the lead in the XP for the first time this game. They're about a third, almost a half a level ahead, as Illidancing Queen's going to pick up their own fortification camp. They have enough time to clear this. And if they don't clear it, it eventually does cause them problems. And that's that could very well be what's going to happen here. This could be the counter to what happened to them in Infernal Shrines. You know, this is basically the play. Core Bounce is making the play right now that Illidancing Queens made multiple times in Infernal Shrines, and it won them the game. Shadow Charge coming in, looking for the flip. Credit Clown gonna get stunned. Another charge as well as Endurance of Hate coming out onto Yrel. The Wailing Arrow missing the May, and there goes that Avalanche. Ana gonna get punched out as Diablo taken out. Does not have soul, so he's not coming back. And now Illidancing Queens in full retreat. They definitely have enough time to come up and clean this up now. But is it going to be too late? It may very well be. The full camp plus a catapult might just be enough. Not quite, but it's close. This fort is this keep rather is a goner. There's nothing that can be done to save it. And the Protector now available here for the core bouncers. They're looking to push forward. And I think they're maybe looking to go through top. I think they probably just bring the team down and go through bottom, but we'll see. They have their level 20s. It's going to be that slowing disintegrate. And they're not actually going for either. They're going to go for mid. They're going to meet up and punch it through mid. So keep going to go down here almost certainly. But it's just Yrel in this Protector. So the rest of the team sticking out as May going in. Now Diablo saying, hey, this is a great time for us to do this. Oh, the very tip of the Durance catching onto Lucio. Diablo getting the charge up, but the sound barrier is going to be just enough to keep him alive, and they get the double kill out onto the front line of Illidancing Queens. Sound barrier, or rather, Lucio gonna fall. Ana being chased down by Mei, and Cezdrin now also being slowed out by Mei here is gonna pop his gladiator medallion trying to get away. But ladies and gentlemen, core bouncers heading onto the core, gonna get knocked away by that glove. I don't think there's a lot Sylvanas can do here, as this core is dropping very quickly. Maybe looking to try to get another kill, right? Boost those stats. And there it goes, the core falling. Core bouncers taking over, eventually, first place in Division E. What a back and forth set this was. Not 100% sure of that much. I didn't see the unstoppable, but it's possible. All right, we will see about getting that interview here. Once I find a lobby to go to. Seven kills to 13, a 17 3/4 minute game. Just a little bit before level 20 there for Illidancing Queen. You know what? Actually, Mudge, if I remember correctly, there are times where like shadow charging into the entomb does not actually stun the target. Like it's something to do with the back wall of the entomb. Okay, so can you say something? Are you there? I cannot hear you. Why can I not hear you? Yeah, it's got to be... I'm pretty sure it's on your side, because all my other sound is working. All right. We're going to be right back, folks, while we get set up for the interview. Don't go anywhere.
is much for us to settle.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I am joined by Captain Garbo, and it turns out it was actually 100% my fault. Thanks for those Windows updates. But we are here, and so Captain Garbo, tell me, how's your team feeling? You guys are now at the top of Division E. What's going on? What's in your minds? Like, tell me what's happening.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty crazy game. You know, we're all sweating. The Illidancing Queens did a really good job. Yeah, that was man, especially that first game. That was such a long first objective. We were just laughing how ridiculous that was. We were just going back and forth and constantly just talking about how balanced and even that this game felt on both sides. So it was very, very challenging. But yeah, we're happy we took home the victory.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, you know, the map picks won game 1 and game 2. You switched it up in game 3, right? And
yeah,
got first pick and won the game. Chat was wrong 100% of the time. They thought that the winning team was going to be the team that did not win every single game. So there you go.
Yeah,
a lot of support for you guys. Definitely in that second game. But let's talk a little bit about these games. So first of all, you went to Hanamura Temple. I was really excited about this because I have not been able to cast a Hanamura game all season yet. So
Yeah.
What was it about Hanamura Temple that, like, what was the key ingredient that said this is where we want to go? And again, you don't have to give it away personal strats or anything like that. But
no.
Was there any particular thing?
No, honestly, you know, we just like Hanamura a lot as a team. Like, I don't know. That's one of those ones. We came out of Heroes Lounge. We were playing the last season in Heroes Lounge, and it was banned in Heroes Lounge, and so we didn't really get to play it a lot. And then as a team, we started playing it and just found that, I don't know, it worked really well for our strategy. You know, we like a lot of the mobile heroes, and I feel like we any one that is very heavy team fight focus is fun for us. We really like just those really long, drawn-out team fights and the back and forth, and so Hanamura just has a little bit of all that. So it was really fun.
Sure. And you know, you say that, and it actually ended up working against you guys in game number 2 because you won so many fights, only to have the dust settle and realize that you lost the battle.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. They that second game, we were winning every single fight, and then it was just like we just were not getting enough advantage, and then they finally got the best of us. That diva was just destroying us. I mean, diva's really strong.
She got away so many times. I'm like, how is she not dead?
That diva was tearing us up, and I mean, I think at the end, whoever was playing diva, I mean, they were top damage, top siege, top XP, everything. They deserved it because that. And we were surprised they didn't take the diva in the third one because we let it slip on the. We weren't expecting it that second game, and so it made it through, and it's definitely a crux for us because. It split us completely that last team fight, and we got melted, split up like that, and then we didn't commit to finishing the objective, and then we lost it. That was the one team fight we definitively lost, and that was the one that unfortunately was the game ender. So
sure. Well, and ultimately in game number 3, you know, you mentioned, hey, we thought maybe they'd pick up the diva, but you guys take another hero which doesn't see a ton of play. She's a very different style. You probably can't see behind me, but I actually have a Draine warrior in a glass behind me. Yrel, a similar in a lot of ways hero to the diva, and I mean, in a lot of ways, I mean, the Yrel made some pretty solid plays, had some great ardent defenders, I think they're called, ardent protector, whatever. Anyways, the ultimate that she gets, and you know, this really set up for the disruption, but you guys had also some really great avalanches, both in game 1 and game 3, to set up some plays. So ultimately, you know, what do you attribute your success in Volskaya Foundry specific? Like, who's your MVP in all of this? Because really, there were a lot of plays you guys made. Like, I can't pin it down on somebody. You have a better grasp of your team. How does that work out for you guys?
Yeah, that's really hard to say. I mean, I think as a team, we all agreed that the MVP probably goes to Credit Clown for he played Mei really well. We don't run a lot of Mei lately, but we just really felt against this team that the Mei was the pick, and especially on a map like Volskaya and with what they were picking. We really liked having her blinds and her mobility and her roots and stuff, and so those engages from him, I think, was really what kept turning it around. And I think that really we all, I mean, having our rotations down and knowing, you know, the battles to win, and you know, it's like, okay, if they're coming in, we need to pull it back a little bit, get some advantage elsewhere, grab a turret, grab a health beacon, and then go back in for the team fight whenever we have the advantage. And so that's kind of what we were trying to accomplish there for Volskaya, because they had a really strong bursty engage, but if we were able to kind of last through that, I could kind of sustain heal, drop the Lucio ult, and then we were kind of able to whittle them down one by one, especially with Li Ming. But honestly, just having the Mei and having the Avalanche was just huge. And their Yrel. I mean, Yrel's not one that's often picked, and we frankly don't pick her that much, but she is a bully, and teams, I find, just a lot of people don't really know how to handle her because people can't really figure out, okay, do I focus her? Do I not focus her? She's doing a lot of CC to me. She's doing a lot of damage. And then the second that everyone decides to commit to focus her, she can pop her ult and, you know, negate everything. So I think
not only negate, but heal it.
Yeah, not negate and heal it. So I think, I don't know, I just find a lot of teams don't really know how to handle the Yrel, and I think Dan plays a really good Yrel, and it's just a fun one to bring out.
Sure.
I was surprised with the Mephisto too. That's the first Mephisto we've played in Heroes Lounge and in NGS. So, and he was really good too.
Yeah, had some really great durances there. But ultimately, you guys were able to pull it out. You know, you had some great sound barriers in there. One of which I want to ask you about. It was brought up in chat. At the very end there of game number 3, you get caught in an entomb. Diablo shadow charges you. Did you use an unstoppable, or did you just like get the sound barrier off? Like was there any trick to that we missed?
I need to watch it again because they really wanted me dead for that last. I was laughing that of course my one death, I was at the very end and they ended it without me. But no, it was like I got Diablo'd, and then Leo popped his entomb on me, which silenced me. And then I dropped the health beacon, which was the only thing that kept me alive. I did my ult, I believe, and then as I'm getting out, I'm healing I pop the heal on, and I'm like a 4th health, and then Mephisto pops in, perfectly lands his lightning nova on me, and it just kills me instantly.
So just one correction in there. They weren't level 20, so he didn't silence you.
Oh, he didn't silence me?
But Diablo did shadow charge you.
That must have been what it stunned me then.
Yeah, so maybe you did actually get a brief interrupt there, and then you just had the sound barrier afterwards.
Yeah, it happened really fast, so I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
But they wanted me dead for sure there.
Yeah, and that's what we were just trying to figure out. Was it looked like, you know, maybe that sound barrier should have been interrupted, but I guess if you dropped the bio emitter first and then immediately after that dropped the sound barrier, that sounds like probably how you survive. So clutch plays to skate away to victory there. One last question. It's really not much of a question, really a suggestion, and it comes from the heart. So, you know, tell them that it's with love. But Don solo sounds, it's just so much better than Dan solo, right? You're following the fantasy.
That would be funny, and I'm sure I've actually never heard that before, but his name is actually Dan, so
I figured that was probably the case.
He would have to legally name change himself to Don. But
Not
I'll
really. No.
I'll-
He can keep it. DAN. Just pronounce it different. Yeah.
All right, I'll pass along the message to him.
Yeah. So there you go. Just tell him that from now on, throughout life, he's no longer Dan. He's Don. And anytime anybody pronounces his name Dan, he just tells them no. I pronounce it Don.
Yeah.
You know? George Carlin does a bit about SMITH and pronounce Janowski. You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Listen, I've taken up enough of your time. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Any shout outs you'd like to make?
Let's see. I mean, Illidancing Queens, you guys gave us probably our best game yet. That was really fun. You know, you played really well, and we would absolutely love to play you guys again. And I think we all agreed that was our most fun game so far. So glad we got to do it, and appreciate you casting it.
Absolutely. And I've been sitting here this whole time, and I never got around to updating the score. So let me do that right now. Officially put it up that you guys got yourselves a 2-1. You guys aren't blue. Darn it. Red team. The other 2-1. There we go. 2-1 victory over Illidancing Queens. Thanks for joining me, Captain Garbo. I love the name, by the way.
Thank you.
And good luck with the rest of your season.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You have a good one.
Thanks. Alrighty, so that's going to wrap us up for tonight. I think that Jazzy is still casting. I'm just going to double check to make sure that I don't send you guys over to a match that is finished. And I can't actually tell based on this, so let's give a time when they started this one. Yeah, it's either Jazzy or Bahamut, so I'll send you to one or the other. But thanks everybody for joining me. We're just passing the midnight mark here. And you know what? It's been a good time. I'm glad that everybody was here to witness this and see this 2-1. Again, I mean, these teams were at the top of Division E, and they're tied now. That's the crazy thing. Now these teams are tied. Obviously, the tiebreaker goes over to Core Bouncers because of this victory, but they're at the same number of points. So really fantastic play. Thanks everybody for joining me. Have a wonderful night. Begin soon.